For those of us who believe, we must be bold in our faith right now. When you gather in public spaces, pray thankfully over your food. Even when the server gives you the stink eye or tells the manager that your peaceful grace is triggering them. Had it happen to me, I've been asked to leave a restaurant for openly bowing my head in prayer hands.
Oh, really? That sucks. I mean,
in America. It's all good. It's all good.
Baby.
They don't deserve my money anyway. It's all good.
Harris Faulkner very bravely disclosed a story with the public that was definitely real, definitely happened, and definitely was not made up. And I thank her for that, because those were some strong words, a very strong anecdote about what she definitely experienced as she was enjoying her meal at a restaurant. A succulent Chinese meal? Come on, guys.
Okay.
As you're subbing for Tucker Carlson's old primetime spot on Fox News.
Yeah. Okay. The degree to which that story did not happen is indescribable. Okay, and by the way, if they're looking at you weird, that's happened to me too. And it's not because I was in thoughtful prayer, before.
Yeah, people look at you weird all the time.
Well, first of all, that's definitely true, period. Okay, look at me. But seriously, sometimes I'll get super high and I'll go to and have a nice dinner, okay?
A succulent Chinese meal? Religious experience.
Yeah, that's my religious experience. And when I want to really soak in the food, I do this like, okay.
Oh my God, Cenk, have you been kicked out of a restaurant for that?
No, but people look at you weird, and they should, because you're being a weirdo. Okay, so it's a little unusual. It's not that big a deal. But she probably saw that. She probably got like 1 or 2 stink eyes or something, because they didn't know what she was doing, and she thought,
oh my God, America hates Christians. We're so persecuted.
And by the way, if that happened, if there's some proof that actually happened, I'd be against it. You shouldn't kick people out. Like, I don't care. People should be allowed to pray. And by the way, that should be applied to people of all religions. All religions.
And all different kinds of weed. I'll get super high. Okay, it could be sativa, it could be indica, either way. And all different kinds of weed. I'll get super high.
Maybe a hybrid?
Could be a hybrid. You want climate change. You got climate change coming out. You want to go to a hybrid. High.
I believe I'm sitting next to a man
who worships the devil's lettuce.
Oh, and I once got kicked out of a restaurant for that.
I believe I'm sitting next to a man who's
okay, it could be sativa, it could be indica, either way. High. But I never told you guys.
Okay, hold on. Maybe we're being unfair to her. Let's hear more of her story and what she had to say.
It's as though people on the left have more free time than anybody else. They want to acronym and pronoun us to death. Well, know this. The Lord has determined I am a woman, and my pronouns are USA.
Cringe.
Come on! That was, no, you gotta give her the slide just based on that. That was hilarious. No, sometimes I'll get super high.
My pronouns are USA.
No, sometimes I'll get super high. You guys are goofballs, man. Yeah, so I've told the story a couple times before, but I was on a plane and
previously on The Young Turks.
Is there a flight? Is there a plane? You gotta be honest. Is there a plane? There's never been a plane here. There wasn't one at 49A. There wasn't one at 47A. There isn't one at 48A. 3 gate changes, no plane. There's no plane. Where's the plane? Okay. No, but they told us that 4 hours ago. Is it actually coming? Lie after lie. Is it actually coming? Because I literally heard it was coming from the hangar 3 hours ago.
And then we had a good laugh over it, right? So like, it's okay. I'm not a touchy guy, right?
Yeah.
In fact, my pronouns are LOL.
Cringe.
If I'm the boss and my workers pull this garbage, this is what I do. I start garnishing wages. And then I start docking vacation days. And then you know what I do? I get my private security guards to go over to her house on a Thursday afternoon at 3 o'clock to see what she's up to.
It is incredible that the very individuals, especially in conservative media, who go around accusing teachers of being
Groomers.
openly admit to their creepy tendencies on air. That was Jesse Waters talking about what he would do to employees if he were their boss in the context of a discussion about remote work. Now, of course, Fox has this mentality that workers are like lazy and you have to keep an eye on them. Do you have any thoughts on this, Cenk?
Yeah, so look, Jesse Waters gives you a sense of how conservatives think. They don't think from the perspective of the employees, the average American. They think from the perspective of the boss, the rich person who needs to use them as widgets and
brutalize them.
And he's gonna be honest about it.
Now, after he went on that little rant about what he would do if he were the employer and the workers were working remotely, apparently Jeanine Pirro concluded that he would face some sort of harassment lawsuit if he were ever to pull off that sick stunt. Let's take a look at that exchange.
Maybe I find her at the mall. Maybe she's at TGI Fridays throwing back cocktails. Maybe I have footage of her trying on blouses at Ann Taylor. No, you and then you know what I do? I give her an opportunity to be honest. I say, listen, were you working on the project on Thursday afternoon? And if she lies to me and she says, yes, I was, I present her with the evidence. You were trying on blouses. You were knocking back cocktails. And then you know what I do? I hire someone half her age and pay her half her salary.
Yeah, and then you know what? She charges you with stalking and harassment.
Jeanine Pirro's right, because that is what he would be doing. But it's interesting what he likes to fantasize about.
Yeah, so Jeanine Pirro caught feelings, not at that, but when he said, I'd fire her and hire someone half her age at half her salary. And then all of a sudden, finally,
and then you know what I do? I give her an opportunity.
But then Pirro's like, wait a minute, what do you mean half age, half the salary? And that is what employers do that are jerks like Jesse Waters.
He did the same joke about 3 times already. I don't think it's funny anymore.
Now, look, Jesse Waters has said so many creepy things on air that we literally have a compilation about it.
Obviously, he's disgusting, he's terrible, he's a sexist, misogynist, hence the leading candidate to take Tucker Carlson's job. You guys are goofballs, man.
By now you should know your bitch is pregnant. What is normal for your bitch?
The bitch should be examined to make sure that all the nipples are okay.
Watch your bitch.
The bitch may be in difficulty.
Why is it important that a bitch not be overweight?
And you should exercise the bitch.
Comforting the bitch.
Calm the bitch down.
Justice Department recently informed Donald Trump's legal team that he is a target of a federal investigation into possibly mishandling classified documents. What's your reaction to the news about your former boss?
Look, I don't know the facts of the former president's case. But what we've got to have in this country is equal treatment under the law.
Equal treatment under the law. It seems like Mike Pence believes that, we shouldn't treat Trump as if he's above the law. We shouldn't treat anyone who is elite or powerful as if they're above the law, right? Except, no. That is not what he's saying. He's trying to make a point that there's somehow a double standard in our justice system when it comes to prosecuting Trump and prosecuting Biden. Instead, he gets scared. He runs away from trying to, answer the question. And you can tell he's nervous. You could tell he's freaking out about this conversation because he doesn't want to take any jabs at Trump just by the way he
breathes heavily.
If you don't know what I mean, take a look at the next clip.
But the question is,
allegation that an investigation into obstruction, which you clearly did not do, if that is something that investigators see as possible, and even enough potentially to indict the former president, do you think that that should go forward?
Well, I would hope not.
I would hope not. That's what I do sometimes when you go on a rant that I disagree with. I'm like on the side. I would hope not. Anyway.
You know, I know he's a Christian, but maybe he's doing some sort of breathing exercises there, some sort of meditation or something. Like, oh, they were talking about Trump again. I remember when that guy tried to execute me. Okay, but I can't insult him too much because the base loves him.
Stop making that face.
I mean, I thought the first one was funnier though, when he was like,
He struggles, you can tell he's nervous, he can't find the words, he's like hyperventilating a little bit.
Dude, you ain't gonna win. You ain't gonna win. Go home. Go home to mother. Go home to mother, please. I'm begging you. The dude tried to get you killed, and you're still like, well, I think he's, well, you know, I think it could be above the law. It should be above the law. I mean, we should have equal protection law, except for Trump. Trump, when he tries to murder people like me, he should be above the law.
Okay.
It was him. They were trying to kill him. It's not even theoretical, right? Like, if they were chanting "Hang Cenk Uygur," right? I wouldn't. And the guy said to his chief of staff, Donald Trump said to his chief of staff, you know, that he didn't mind it. He didn't mind it. If somebody said that about people trying to kill me, I wouldn't be a. I was going to use a very harsh word, but let's say I wouldn't be Ken doll Mike Pence going, I I'd be talking about how you gotta put this son of a bitch in prison. He tried to get me killed. This is the weakest man in America. Please go home to mother.
And then like you freak out.
But I guarantee you, the minute that you ask Mike Pence about it, oh, a super PAC, your super PAC basically, it's called Trump Week. What do you think about that? He's gonna go, and he's gonna backpedal. He's gonna backpedal, right?
Look, I don't know the facts of the president's case. I don't know the facts of the former president's case. But what we've got to have in this country is equal treatment under the law.
There's almost even a little bit of a whimper there.
Yeah, there was a whimper.
There was a little whimper. Yeah, it's not good.
My super PAC says Donald Trump's weak. What do I think of Donald Trump? Ain't gonna cut it, brother. And
Jeez.
Definitely not in a Republican primary.
I would hope not.
Dude, you ain't gonna win. You ain't gonna win. Go home.
So when young adults who don't want children are asked why, they often give reasons like personal independence or I just don't want children, very individualistic reasons.
Yeah, individualism to me is a nice way to also frame the concept of selfishness. These are people focusing on their own individual needs and desires as opposed to those of perhaps of a family.
Fox News' Will Cain just demonstrated how unbelievably out of touch wealthy corporate media hosts happen to be, especially when it comes to the topic of why people decide against having children. Now, I have admitted that in some cases it could be selfish. You want the freedom, you want to travel, you don't want to get bogged down by the difficulty of having to raise children. But for the vast majority of Americans who choose to forego raising kids, I think the reason is pretty obvious to the rest of us. But let me also note there are other reasons why, good reasons why.
So they say
these people just want to do what they want to do and believe in individual freedom. Can you believe it?
Wait, I thought you guys were running your whole campaigns on freedom. Like, I got the freedom to not wear a mask. It's all about individual freedom. I don't want to have a child that's going to affect my life in a gigantic way.
You don't have that freedom, okay? Don't be an individual. Do what we tell you.
Guys, make up your mind. Okay, which one is it? My response to like, it's selfish not to have kids. So what?
Yeah, okay, great. So it's selfish.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's selfish to urge other people to have kids when it has no impact on your life, but it has the biggest impact on the people that you're pushing to have kids. Why would anyone do that, like to appease you? That's not selfish?
Yeah, I gotta say two things. Look, guys, number one, everything is selfish. This whole thing's a ruse. You think what they're doing isn't selfish? By the way, I had kids and it was selfish.
Wait, how?
Well, I love those kids. I have a great time with those kids. Those kids didn't ask me to have them. I had them because I thought it was gonna be better for me because I love the idea of having kids. Those kids didn't ask me to have them. I had them because I thought it was gonna be better for me because I love the idea of having kids. If I don't want kids, well, don't be selfish. You must have the kids for who? Who? Oh, the fatherland needs kids. Corporate America needs more kids in those assembly lines. Get back, don't be selfish. Do this for multinational corporations.
No, but honestly, listen, let's take a step back for a second. Pressuring people to have kids in an economy that is not friendly to people, working people, ain't the way to go.
Why do you think it's an accident that all of a sudden Fox is having one segment after another? We've showed you about half a dozen already here on this show, where they're like,
you need to have more babies. Have the babies. Okay.
Oh, you guys are being just outrageous by not having.
Get in there, go. Right, and so you got to get in there and create more babies.
You need to have more babies. Have the babies.
And I'd love to hear your thoughts, Benny, on did you see this situation with Target as more of Target giving in, much like Bud Light did, or did you see it more as a protective measure or something else?
I definitely saw it as giving in because, to be entirely honest, because fundamentally, quite literally, unironic, fundamentally, quite literally, and so fundamentally, which fundamentally, literally, fundamentally, because that is fundamentally what we need right now, literally, right? So fundamentally, unhinged freaks, honestly,
absolutely.
This is Ron DeSantis' launch week for the presidency, and I'm not entirely sure what his strategy is over the last 48 hours. He's come out with a few attacks against Donald Trump, but in some ways, he seems to be continuing to try to appeal to not only Trump fans, but Trump himself.
So would he pardon? He'd pardon, I guess, the January 6 people. He kind of has to. I'm sure that like
there in Texas, he'd go around finding people who've killed protesters and he'd pardon them too.
Would he pardon Trump? It seems like maybe.
So this whole idea that they are disfavored groups, that the big leftist FBI and leftist law enforcement is targeting conservatives is full-blown mental. No law enforcement in this country has not been predominantly left-wing. They have almost never targeted conservatives. In fact, conservative groups were oftentimes above the law. And the fact that they are now also subject to the law sometimes is exactly what triggers the victimhood of the right wing. I can't believe they're enforcing the laws now on right wingers. We have been disfavored. Get that. Okay, and then, but now when you look at the political analysis here, again, because we're the fairest show in America, I can't believe they're enforcing the laws now on right wingers. We have been disfavored. All other candidates on the Republican side, Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, et cetera, whoever the hell else is in, they're running a very standard establishment candidacy as if it's like the 1990s. They're like,
well, I'll tell you what, the real problem is we've got to start more wars in the Middle East, okay? War is the answer, I'll tell you that right now. And it's...
A lot of them are saying January 6th was unacceptable. Well, that's true, and I appreciate that they're in this reality-based world, but that is not gonna win in a Republican primary. If you say January 6th is real in a Republican primary, why are you running? There's no way Republican voters will agree with you. Remember, 52% of Republican voters think Joe Biden did the riot against himself. Not just that Trump didn't do it and that the Republicans are not accountable and it's not their fault. It's that Biden did the riot against himself. They genuinely believe. That's a majority of Republicans. Here's a fun little thought. Are you sure that Joe Biden won't pardon Donald Trump? Like, we're worried about, Ron DeSantis might pardon Trump. If Joe Biden wins a second term and Donald Trump is convicted of something and he's about to go to prison, I'd make a bet right now that Joe Biden would pardon him. So, I mean, and if you think there's no chance he would, then you don't know Joe Biden at all.
What kind of bet?
Okay, you'd have to give me odds because that would be the dumbest political move in American history.
I'm not saying there's no chance he does it, but I don't know that the chances is even 50-50.
Yeah.
We'll talk. I can't believe they're
Again, because we're the fair share
right-wingers. We have been disfavored.
Well, I'm like, it doesn't make sense. So is it or not? I don't know 100%, but it's just, it doesn't make sense the other way. Now that you see it.
The people that defend the globe don't know anything about the globe, because if they knew a tenth of what Matt and I know about the globe, they would be flat earthers.
That was Candace Taylor, who was recently elected to the GOP as GOP district chair in the state of Georgia. She's concerned about the globe, so this is making its rounds. Now she's talking to a guy named Flat Earth Dave and Matt Long on her Jesus, Guns, and Babies podcast, where they discussed big globe propaganda. Here's the rest of her rant.
All the globes everywhere. I turn on TV, there's globes in the background. There's globes on there right here. Like this would be a globe if I was a normal person. Like everywhere there's globes. You see them all the time. I mean, it's constant. My children will be like, Mama, globe, 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 globe. They're everywhere. And that's what they do to brainwash. And so for me, if it is not a conspiracy, if it is, real, why are you pushing so hard? Everywhere I go, every store, you buy a globe. There's globes everywhere, every movie, every TV show, news media. Why?
She's an elected GOP district chair
There are
in
globes
Georgia.
everywhere, guys.
Okay.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Well, you know why, of course. Big Globe. That's until I met Big Globe. And who introduced it to me? Flat Earth Dave. Come on, how is that not the most hilarious nickname of all time?
It's great. How did the Republican Party allow this to happen? The Republican Party is just like, you know what? Come right in.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about a Big Tent. As long as it's flat, though, I don't want any of those circular tents. All right, look, guys. But as I said earlier in the show about a different story, there's tens of millions of people who believe in conspiracy theories in America. I mean, it is so prevalent. So you never see it, in media, but it's been there the whole time.
Why would anyone lie about the earth being round? Why?
My God, I can't believe you bought into Big Globe propaganda.
I did buy into Big Globe propaganda. I did.
No, but come on, guys, that's the name of her show. Jesus, Guns, and Babies.
Yep.
I mean, that's the new Republican motto, I think. I mean, that right there, Republican motto, Jesus, Guns, and Babies.
Candace, what happened to you, Candace?
Then guns plus babies, okay? Then babies plus Jesus, and then Jesus plus guns for sure, okay? He said turn the other cheek, but still, you get it. But she sees them everywhere because she's looking for them. Because that's what happens with every conspiracy theorist. The minute they have it there, everything becomes a aha, 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 aha. Like if somebody thinks that the Earth is a square, they're like, there's squares everywhere. Look at this screen's a square or a rectangle. Oh, it's a big rectangle, right? But the right-wing mind is much more open to believing conspiracies. You don't think so? No, but look, I mean,
we're in a bubble. Let's just put it that way.
We're
in a bubble. Let's just put it that way. There's a new ride-sharing option for all you folks who might be terrified to be driven around. Maybe you're in an area that is crime-ridden and you need someone to protect you. So Black Wolf is a new ride-sharing app, just like Uber and Lyft, except you have the option to choose a driver who is armed.
Oh, thanks
Who's
God.
armed. So if there's a threat, the driver who happens to have a firearm is able to do, you know, the dun 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 dun. Like, you know,
the same exact thing. Right before you said it, I was about to go dun 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 dun.
Okay.
And they're gonna fire like this, and they're gonna fire like this. Dun 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 dun. You
all right.
Goofballs. All right.
Now, Black Wolf promises to keep riders safe from
the wave of crime and mass shootings.
The school-based option is being marketed as a way to send children to school more safely. We live in a hellscape, and this is a good symptom of that, I think.
Yeah, so I actually think this is a perfect sign of the times. Like, we can't actually solve any problems, so we just add to the problems by, oh, everybody's getting shot in a mass shooting. Well, don't worry, we'll give guns to everyone, including your Uber drivers.
Wow, that sounds great.
And I normally talk to the drivers if I'm using Uber, Lyft, or whatever, taxi. Well, I'm not gonna talk to these guys. Okay, like you get into a slight misunderstanding. Dun 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 dun.
Okay.
And they're gonna fire like this, and they're gonna fire like this. Dun 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 dun.
I mean, it sounds like a really great idea to put your kids in a car with an armed stranger.
Yeah, now we're in a Denzel Washington movie. Like, men on fire, they're trying to kidnap and dismember your kids, but we will protect you. Ay, ay, ay.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, man, again, it's not on them, but it sucks that we're in that Harrison Ford movie, all of us together, and it's not some weirdo action movie, it's actually our lives, and it ain't cool. But I'm gonna end the story on the most unfortunate part. Why is another term for private investigator private dick? Why is another term for private investigator private dick?
Private dick.
No, it's not. Is
it
it
is.
really? No
It
one
is.
says that though.
Yeah, no, that's
That
an old
sounds-
school term.
It's super old timey.
Yeah.
People have moved on, Cenk. We're doing better now.
Okay, all right, but I'm telling you.
Private dick?
Private dick?
Private dick. This guy's a
Call
private
my
dick.
husband, okay? Stay away. Like,
On the